All right, guys, welcome to the Crypto Collective Market Update. Today, I'm just going to be going over what's happening with Bitcoin right now, what's happening with altcoins, and just some potential price action and market moves to look out for. So we're going to start with Bitcoin. As you can see, it pretty much just happened. We had this almost, I think it was like $1,000 throwback. Yeah, $1,100 throwback. It's come right to like a key kind of area down here, but to me, it's something to really keep a close eye on. I'm going to zoom in here on the smaller time frames. Now, I'm not exactly looking to trade this right now. I'm just waiting for the market to cool down a bit and just to see what exactly is going to happen. So I've got a pattern for you guys here to show you. So this is the, it's called the inverse extended V pattern. And I'm sure you've seen me do show the other pattern. It's called the extended V bottom, as you can see here. So basically this pattern is a reversal, a possible reversal signal. So this is the inverse of that. Now it's not particularly a pattern I really trade often, but I can use it to give us an idea of where price can go and what the market can do right now. So we've got that pattern right here. Now you can see that the price was consolidating sideways and then it made a sharp top like that. So I could inverse the chart here and you can see it looks exactly like the extended V bottom. So it's just a pattern in the inverse. So the way we can use this is we can keep an eye on it to see what happens with the price here. So just looking at the short term on Bitcoin, if we can hold above this area here, we have the potential for this downwards breakout of this pattern to actually fail if we confirm support of this area. So if that doesn't happen, if we actually lose this level, like so, and we reject under here, we have a likelihood of coming down to this area here. But for now, to me, it doesn't look like it's going to dump here. It's still a bit early to tell. I can see we've got a clear range here. If you don't know what a range is, it's a trading range. So you can see between these two zones, prices just keeps going up and down. So we broke out of the range here and we came back under it. And we're rejecting here off the top of the range over here. So this isn't really good for Bitcoin right now, unless we can get back above this area, which is also going to be the rejection of this pattern, because this is a bearish pattern. So normally we would expect this candle here to actually come back up and close underneath here and then go down. But because we've come straight back into the pattern, we have the potential for this to push upwards. And if we can confirm off this zone here, which is a previous supply area, we can actually have a bit of a pump from here. And also I noticed, if we look at the 5 minutes, first of all, we can see a clear as day bull flag forming here. So this bull flag is going to give us like a good chance that we're going to break out here. And if we confirm off this zone, then it's going to give us a second opportunity actually, which is the bump and run bottom. So as you can see here, we have two areas of price action. One is this small little bump here, and then we have this massive sell-off like so, and it comes back around. And now that we're breaking out here, we're looking for an entry down here to catch this potential move to the upside. So right now, it actually is looking positive on the 5 minutes. And we're going to have to see if we continue to hold this area here as support, as well as if we lose that, we're going to have to watch out for this next area here. If we lose this bottom area over here, we're going to have I'd say a pretty large sell-off. But for now, like I said, we have that little bull flag forming. We also have the bump and run bottom. Now I'm going to show you guys an image now just so you can understand the pattern a bit better. So this is the bump and run bottom. As you can see, you have the two phases. You got the little bump and then the run phase, which is the massive sell-off, and it comes back above the trend line, and then you're looking to buy on the retests. It doesn't always give the retests. Sometimes it actually breaks out and then it comes back under and dumps off. So you've got to keep an eye on the price action and see what happens. But for now, it's, to me, it's looking like Bitcoin does want to keep pushing up. Just a sec, guys. Just got to add some people that are joining. So yeah, to me, guys, it does look like as long as we hold this little area here, for now, in the short time frame, Bitcoin is going to continue up. Now let's have a look at the larger time frame levels as well, just to get a gauge of what else is happening. So I'm on the weekly chart here, and I've got all my levels mapped out already. I've got my daily levels, my weekly levels, and my monthly levels. So looking at the monthly levels, we've pretty much got nothing left until we get up here to about 19,200 to 19,875. We're just floating right now, so there's nothing really clear for us to see here looking at the monthly levels. Looking at the weekly, we're just underneath a horizontal area, and it's hard to spot, but you can see it's just this little area here. So it wasn't like anything too major at that level, but it's just one to keep an eye out that we're under right now. But the main one I noticed is looking at the daily chart. I'm just going to switch over here. So if we look over here, you can see these areas over here. These are single candle supply zones. They're where orders were before the price drove downwards. As you can see, we had this wick here, and then we went down, and we had this wick here, and then we went down, and we also had a horizontal here and one here. So I combined this area as a zone as well, because it has the potential for rejection there. So I've mapped out these areas on the daily chart. And if we come back over here, I'm going to go to the 4 hour now. So you can see we've had this massive rejection candle so far, and we're closing right underneath one of these single candle supply zones. So for now, this is actually not positive for Bitcoin on the 4 hour. We still have 1 hour to the close. So maybe on the next candle, or tonight or in the morning, if we can continue to push and we can claim this area, it could be a potential sign we're just going to keep grinding up. As well as what I just showed you on the 5 minute chart, the two patterns, the bar bottom and the extended V bottom. So for Bitcoin right now, higher time frames, there's not much clarity. Smaller time frames, we're just going to be patient and see, what the price action gives us. But right now it's it's holding on edge. And to me, if we have a little bit more of a push from here, we get out of this area, this trend line here. As you can see, if we hold this area here, we're probably going to push up here. If we can claim this zone, then we should continue grinding up. So that's just it for Bitcoin. Now I'm going to go over Ethereum as well. Let's move back to the 4-hour chart. So I've got some levels here. Now the first thing I can actually see here on Ethereum is that we had this rising wedge pattern. So basically the rising wedge, it's like a kind of triangle, and the price swings between it, and it signifies a potential of a reversal downwards. But on this particular one, we broke out over here. We broke down and we came and we bounced off this important demand zone, and we came back into the pattern. Now, when we close back in the pattern like this is usually a sign of failure, and it would continue up. But right now on Ethereum, it actually doesn't look too good, because it looks like a liquidity grab. And what that means is that this area that's people thought the pattern was going to fail and keep going up, now it's actually turned against them. I was actually, I've still got some spot Ethereum, but I did have a trade up here. I got taken out on this candle. I was looking for the pattern failure setup for it to bounce off this area here. But, the market needed a throwback. So for now, it does look like that this rising wedge has the potential to keep playing out. And the only thing I can really see other than that is we have this area here, and we seem to kind of hold this support as well as this like previous supply cluster here. So while we're above this, maybe Ethereum can keep going up. What I'm going to really be watching for is a claim of this key area up here. If we grind up and we confirm support of this, I'm definitely going to be going for a long. Or if we get some other kind of reversal pattern that appears down here. But for now, on the USD, it does not look too good. Ethereum, which is similar to Bitcoin, it's under that zone I showed you. And until we get back above it, at least, we can expect the possibility of more downside. Now, this is Ethereum on with Bitcoin. As you can see, we've got this kind of crucial level here. Just going to zoom in. You can see over here, we had this massive dump off, and that's a single candle supply area. It's an area where price revisits. As you can see here, it comes down from again. So right now, we're right on the edge here with Ethereum and Bitcoin. If we don't reverse soon and find support back above this area and continue to grind up, the chances are we're going to have a pretty big retrace, probably down to this area here, which is a large sell-off. If this happens, this is going to happen if Bitcoin keeps pumping, because if Bitcoin keeps pumping, then it's going to take up majority of the market share from the altcoins. So we're going to look at the Bitcoin dominance as well here. Looking at the 1 month. So what I can see is we've got this massive bull flag. As you can see, there's a massive bull flag there. We're basically on the verge of breakout, and this is on the monthly chart. So, there's still 12 days to the close, but we definitely have to keep an eye on this important level, because just for the Bitcoin dominance, this is usually a sign of how much of the market share Bitcoin has. If Bitcoin dominance continues to go up, altcoins can actually continue to go down against Bitcoin. So the target of this is around 76 points. So if we actually break out of this area on the Bitcoin dominance, we have to be very careful because it's likely that altcoins will have major sell-offs. So the price action, it's not really the best at the moment. We had this massive gap upwards. So we closed here and we came back up here. And that's really not good for altcoins that are across the Bitcoin. US dollar altcoins have been holding up a little bit better. But watching this trend line here on the Bitcoin dominance, if we do continue to push and break out, confirm support, we could have a bit more of a shakeout on altcoins. And then we have to watch this area for a rejection. And then if we claim above here, it's going to be the same deal. It's going to keep pushing and altcoins are going to take a hit. So we have Ethereum versus Bitcoin. It's right on the edge of support here. And we have the Bitcoin dominance, which is right on the edge of resistance here. So they're pretty much on the inverse. If we see a breakout here on Bitcoin dominance, we're probably going to see altcoins with Bitcoin go down. Now I'm going to run through some altcoins. So this is Litecoin. Now basically Litecoin, looking most of the altcoin charts, I'm actually going to look at the monthly charts because they're the most important levels. And a lot of the altcoins on the Bitcoin pairs, they've been in downtrends for quite a while. So I'm watching the monthly levels to look for potential reversals. Now we can see we reversed from here, this kind of order block. We had a massive pump. Now we've come back on Litecoin. We're just resting here. So this is definitely an area we want to start laddering into, potentially opening position. What I'm actually looking for is, first of all, between these two areas, we have a potential range. So down here, we could be in a trade for quite a while. So you have two options with Litecoin. You can buy now. There's a potential if Bitcoin runs that it loses support. It could shake some people out and then reclaim this support before it goes up, or it can just, dump off. But I think it's likely we break out soon. We start to range between here. We possibly put in like an extending triangle or inverse head and shoulders. And once we actually break out up here and claim this range, as you can see, we started from here, we sold off from here, we bounced from here, we bounced from here. If we can claim that as support, then I think it's going to give us a much higher probability for a successful trade. And that's going to be, we have a falling wedge down here, a small falling wedge pattern. I'm just going to bring it up for you guys. So I'm sure most of you know the falling wedge, but just in case there's any beginners watching, this is the falling wedge pattern. Basically, it's like a triangular shape, and the price moves between the two lines 5 times before heading upwards. So this pattern works really well. We can see we have a really small one here. So we're looking for a breakout on that. And if that does break out, it can potentially take us to a larger one. So I'm going to show you. So if we do break out like this and come up, we also have a larger falling wedge, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 touches. So if we do break out of the second one, this is going to be the area we need to confirm support off. It's around 55 to 6200 sats. If we confirm support off that area, we're going to be looking for a long to the top of this range here. If it really goes crazy, this is going to be the next target for me for like a midterm or a long-term trade. Now this is on the Litecoin with Bitcoin. Looking at the US dollar, Litecoin with US dollar, we have a potential Adam and Eve bottom. So if you don't know the Adam and Eve bottom, it's actually one of my favorite patterns, and I've had a bit of success trading it myself. So this is the Adam and Eve bottom. Basically, we have price makes like a sharp V and then a rounded shape, and it's a potential signal that we're going to head upwards. So as you can see, we kind of have this V here, and now we are starting to get this curved kind of shape on Litecoin with US dollar. So the confirmation area is actually all the way up here at $160. So if we can flip this area over here, which is this close where we started this massive pump from, we should continue up to, I'd say, $160. Once we get up there, we're going to be looking for another support and resistance flip for the breakout of the Adam and Eve bottom. Now, it might seem like a ridiculous pattern, like, oh, it's huge. You know, what are the chances of that playing out? But if you look at Bitcoin, let's go on the daily chart. Right, you can see a clear as day Adam and Eve bottom here. So you can see a rounded structure. It's like curved, and then we have a sharp V. And this is the Adam and Eve bottom. So you can see this is the neckline, the breakout level. And we actually broke out here on Bitcoin. We came back, and as soon as we confirmed, we launched off that level. So not many people, I think maybe Troy, he picked this Adam and Eve bottom, but other than that, I didn't see many other technical analysts using this pattern, and it works quite well. So going back to Litecoin. So going back to Litecoin, we have the V there, we have the rounded bottom, and this is definitely something to keep an eye out, because if it does play out, the target is, it's almost 300 to 400% from this area. Now I've got to look at some other altcoins. I've got Link here with Bitcoin. Now looking at the daily chart. So we have this kind of falling wedge here, or bull flag, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's not really important now. We've already broken out of this pattern. So as you can see, we broke out here. Now, what is important, and what I can see right now, is that we have this area, which is the single candle demand zone, which is where the trend started from. We've bounced right here off it. Now we're potentially bouncing here. If we can bounce here, it can be a potential lower high. So it could be a sign that the trend is changing to bullish on Link with Bitcoin. Now, one other thing I want to show you guys, if I can just take some of these lines off. Now, I showed you guys before the bar bottom pattern, the bump and run bottom. So this is that. Now we have the opposite to that, which is called the bump and run top. As you can see here, it's just the mirror opposite of the pattern. And if you look at Link on Bitcoin, as you can see here, we had a clear bump and run top. We had a little bump. We had the run, which is a massive blow off top. And once we come under that area, it signifies the potential for a reversal in the opposite direction. So we came back up and rejected, then Link continued its downtrend. So while we are under here, it's not ideal, and there's a potential to actually continue down with Link on the Bitcoin pair. But what I'm watching for on Link with Bitcoin is a claim of this area as support, first of all. And then we have a potential to long up to this area here with a target. And then the next trade opportunity for me is going to be if we do actually reach this trend line eventually up here, we're going to be seeing how the price action is, and we're going to be looking for a short, or we're going to be looking for it to claim support and bounce off this previous resistance. It was it was a previous resistance here, and it was a support here and here. So if the price comes back in, we have a probability of it continuing upwards. So that's Link on Bitcoin. This is the daily chart. looking at the monthly, I can't really see much, but there is one important thing to note. I'll switch to the weekly. So we have this kind of, there we go. We have this kind of bull flag pattern. And looking at just the weekly chart here, we broke out over here and we just continue dragging out downwards on link with Bitcoin. So if we don't hold the support here at around 620 to 680, the chances are that this thing is going to go even more downwards, and it's going to take out potentially a lot of traders. So keep an eye on link with Bitcoin. If we do hold this area and we come up and we claim this as support, it's going to be a breakout of this bull flag here. And many altcoins at the moment, they have a similar pattern. They have these massive bull flags. Now the target of this one is nearly 2,000 sats. So that's probably 160, 170% profit or more. So yeah, that's link on Bitcoin. We've got this key support area just underneath us. If we hold that, we have a chance of pushing to the top of this range and further. Now, looking at link on the weekly, it's actually quite similar. So as you can see, we had this bar top pattern as well over here. We broke out downwards and we kept selling off from this trend line every time we reached it. And just like the last 4 times, we started to reject from this area again. So while we are under here as well as under this zone here, we can expect potentially more downside on link. What I'm looking for is a confirmation of this area. And once we get that, we can look at a long, and then we're going to have to watch it and see if we claim this as support for the trade to continue up. But right now, other than that, I can't really see much. It's like a massive consolidation on link, but it's just grinding up while it's consolidating. So I think probably soon, within the next week, we're going to have a major move on link. If we can claim this area over here where I've marked, I think we have a probability to head to 16.5 dollars or more. Now looking at VeChain, VET with Bitcoin, it's pretty similar to a lot of other charts as well. You can see we have the kind of massive bull flag or falling wedge pattern. Now we had the 5 touches in the pattern like so. And then I can tell you right now, a lot of traders would have got long here. I think I actually did have a trade there as well that I got taken out of. But this is the part where most people stop paying attention. They have a loss and they say, oh, you know, I was wrong. But the thing is, you got to pay attention when you're wrong, because it usually reverses the other way soon. Because where your stop losses are under here is still a very good buy area. So looking at VET, it came under this support and then quickly came back inside of it. So what that means to me is that this area had a lot of buy orders, just waiting. They were waiting for the dump to get brought up. So we lost the support of the falling wedge. A lot of stop losses would have triggered sell orders. We got this massive green candle down here, as you can see. I'll zoom in a bit. We got this massive candle and we closed back inside. We had another bullish engulfing. So that tells me the buyers are there and the buyers are waiting. Now we're waiting for a confirmation, a break out of this pattern. I think once we break out, we're going to reject first, potentially go a little bit lower. And after we do that, I'm going to be watching for it to come up to this blue zone. And I'm going to be looking to enter a long position here. And then I'm going to manage the trade. We're going to see if we do get the entry, we're going to see if we push up to this area. And once we get up there, you can see we had a clear resistance over here. So we're looking for a support and resistance flip over here to push to the two targets of the falling wedge, which is up here and up here. And then the trade can continue even further from there because it does look like a bull flag, and that has an even higher target. So that's VeChain with Bitcoin. If we do close underneath 60 sats or so, then I think there's a high chance that this trade is going to be over for now, and we're going to be sweeping the lows. Looking at VeChain with USD, it's pretty much similar. Like I said, most altcoins right now on the daily, on the monthly chart, they have bull flags or falling wedges. They have bull pennants. Some of them haven't broken out. Some of them have. So right now, they do look like they're going to keep going up, but they're very close to the support area. So same thing with VeChain here. We had the falling wedge, 5 touches. We broke out, and now we found support on this previous resistance over here and this demand area here. So while we're above this support area I just showed you over here, the chances are we can continue up, and I'm watching for a flip of this area. It was the most recent major sell-off, and then this area here and this area here to continue up. But if we flip this area, which is around 0.0135, and get a nice bounce off here, I think the chances are that VeChain is going to have a massive pump. Some things to watch for is like the potential of a head and inverse head and shoulders here, or like a extending triangle, or another kind of reversal pattern. It's quite common on altcoins to see like a breakout of a falling wedge, and then it kind of consolidates here, and then it'll put a pattern here like around the top, or a bull flag or something, and before it pumps. So definitely keep an eye out on VeChain as well. Now NEO, I'm going to start with the NEO USDT first. It almost looks the same as VeChain. You can see we've got the falling wedge pattern here. Now we've broken out. If we can hold above $14.3 as support, I think NEO is going to have a push, with a first target is around $18.7, $19, followed by $25 or so. Now, if we lose $14.2 under here, and then we reject off it, the chances are that the setup is going to fail, and we're going to head down to the $10 region. I'm actually hoping NEO is going to continue up here. I think it does look good. Looking at the Bitcoin pair, I've got the 1 month chart here. Just going to zoom in a bit. So as you can see over here, we've got a demand area where we bounce from. We've got this massive red candle. We're kind of coming into the area now. We also had a demand cluster here where we had a massive rise from. And on this current 1 month candle, we rejected off that area, which is not a good sign. But we are still in a demand area. So we have the potential of reversal here on NEO on Bitcoin. Now, it's very hard to pick like where exactly a token or any kind of asset is going to bottom. A lot of the time, it's a lot safer, if you want to use that term, safe, to wait for a confirmation. So, we can see we had this demand area here where we had a rise. And now we're kind of pushing into this area. So we can long here, but if Bitcoin keeps going up and keeps going crazy, as I said, Ethereum Bitcoin is going to go down. It's going to lose support. And that means probably most altcoins that are paired with Bitcoin, they're also going to lose support. So that will see us sweep these lows. And if that happens, if we quickly come back up and we close above this area, this demand area here, it's going to be a really, really good long entry for NEO on Bitcoin. And you know, that the reason I trade like that is because after people's stop losses get taken out is usually when the move happens. So if you wait for that, you're going to have a bit more success, but it doesn't happen every time. It's just something to definitely, you want to train your mind to look out for this kind of stuff, to find the opportunities when they're presented. So going back to the 1 month on NEO, if we do find support in this area, which I just ran you through, we've got to come back up. We're going to claim, if we do claim this area, then I'm expecting a massive move on NEO. I'm just going to play it level to level, but if we find support down here and the altcoins, we do have a bit of an alt season. We have the potential to start ranging between here. Sorry, I drew that wrong. We have the potential to start ranging between here. And once we see, if we do come up and get above here, and we get along here, as you can see, this trend kind of started from here and we rejected from here. It's going to be a really good long opportunity on NEO. As you can see, there's a huge risk to reward. Even like the 0.618 Fibonacci, if I'll just pull it up. If I draw it from here, just down here, you know, when altcoins or Bitcoin or other assets start a new trend and the trend fails, like it comes up like this, they usually reject at the 0.618. So if we did have a massive run on NEO and Bitcoin, just to go to this important rejection points, not to say it, it's 100% guaranteed we're going to get there. Just as an example, we have a potential for like, just a sec. Yeah, we have the potential for like 800, 900% profit. So once we do, if we kind of get some good signs that NEO is bottoming, it's finding support in this area, we could have a potentially really good trade here. A few other altcoins are going to go over. So looking at XRP with Bitcoin, yeah, it's pretty it's pretty similar to what I just showed you. We've got this kind of demand area here. We've bounced here as well, and we also bounce here. And we're just resting in this area right now until we see like a confirmation above it. We don't have a good idea of what XRP is going to do just yet. If we can get a confirmation of 1850 or so, chances are we're going to push to 3,100 or 2,400. Now, what I'm watching for on the smaller time frames here, just going to zoom out. So you can see we're moving in this kind of parallel channel. Now, I draw it in my own unique way, so if the chart's a bit confusing, don't worry too much about it. Basically, I'm going to show you an image now to explain it. So these are the parallel channels, and price just moves between these kind of ascending or descending channels. And they work just like other patterns. So you can have a breakout kind of above, or you can have a sell-off below. So right now, looking at XRP with Bitcoin, you can see I just showed you that zone. I'm looking for a reclaim above for a long to go to the top of the range. Well, you can see we're rejecting right now off that actual area, which is not a good sign. And we're also resting on the 50% line of this parallel channel. So if we were to lose this line and reject off it, we have the potential to come down to the bottom of this channel. So that's something to watch out for. If that happens and we confirm support off the channel again, it's going to be a good long opportunity. Or if we kind of do something like this and we grind a bit sideways, we break up, we confirm off here, then we confirm off here. So that's just one thing I'm watching out for with XRP on Bitcoin. Now, if you're wondering why I use this chart, I'm using Polynex. It's because it's got a really long history of the price action of XRP. So they don't have like every altcoin, but when you use certain newer exchanges, they don't have all the data, so you can't get the historic levels. So just keep in mind, Polynex is a good one to use, Huobi, Bitrex as well, if you can't find the recent levels. Now looking at XRP with US dollars. So I can see a clear symmetrical triangle pattern here. We've had 5 touches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, sorry, we've had 4 touches. We're about to have a 5th touch. On the 5th touch, the pattern is going to be valid. We're either going to see a breakout like so, or we're going to see a rejection like so, or we're going to see a fake out, which is a breakout that comes back inside the pattern instantly. The things to watch for are a breakout, a retest, so potential entry of this. You can see here we have this rejection zone I've drawn here. If we break out of this symmetrical triangle here, we confirm of this area, we can get a potential entry. Then we have to watch to see if we claim the next area. So this is XRP. It does look bullish to me with US dollars. I personally think if we stay above 255 or so, we have the potential to go up to 43 or so. Now, so let's have another look. So you can see over here, we have this demand cluster. A demand cluster is kind of it's like a rectangular pattern, like so, where the price just moves between there and the candles make a little block. And then we have a thrust candle. And when the price comes back to it, we usually see a reaction. So you can see this cluster. We came back here, we bounced. We came back here, we bounced. And eventually the zone weakens and we fall back under it. But when the price comes back to it in the future, it can act like a springboard. So if we hold this area on XRP US dollars, we have the potential for a run here. And this is the first target, 43. If we push through this area and we confirm off it, it's going to be a potential trade. As you can see, we started a run from here. We rejected from here. So if we can get along here, if we get a support and resistance flip, then we're going to have another potential trade up to this area here. So that's XRP. Now we're going to look at ADA. So it's pretty similar to the other tokens I've showed you. So right now it's just about being patient and waiting till the market actually presents that really clear setup. Or entering, if you want to enter. But for me, I prefer to wait for, something really defined and clear, because it's the worst when you buy and you're buying something and you're buying as it's going down, and you end up just cutting your trade with losses, or you add more and then it still doesn't go the way you want. So for me, the best thing to do is to be patient and to wait for like a clear setup. So right now on ADA, we come back to this demand area here again. If we find support here, we have the potential of a breakout of this falling wedge. We've had 5 touches, 4 touches. We're going for the 5th. If we bounce right now, we're going to have 1 more touch on this trend line. That can give us a breakout. We could potentially reject from here, come back down for a second bounce, or put in like a extending triangle or some other kind of reversal pattern. If we do that, the next target for me is going to be about 1,000 sats or so. Once we push out of that area, as you can see over here, the upper area is here. If we can push out of that area, the next target is going to be around 1,500. So that's ADA with Bitcoin. ADA with US dollars, it's almost the same. I showed you guys a bull flag pattern. You know, it's similar to the bull pennant. We've got 2 touches on each side. We have like a rectangular slanted channel, and then we see a breakout. The price comes back to this this line, and then it continues up. So for me on ADA USDT, basically above 8,700 or so. I've mentioned this level a few times in the Discord server. We have the potential to keep going up above 8,700. And if we can claim this area here, as you can see, it's kind of squeezing against this area. We have the potential for a breakout and a possible long entry here to push to 0.14 to 14 cents, sorry. And I've just got 2 more things to look at. So here we have Matic with Bitcoin. Now this is another kind of DeFi related project. So it's just similar to most other altcoins. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. We need 1 more for this falling wedge. We're bouncing on a previous demand area, as you can see. If we were to find support here, we can have a potential breakout, and then we're looking for a confirmation off the previous resistance for a long opportunity. And the first major take profit area is going to be this level here, followed by this, and then the other levels you can see above, with a maximum kind of crazy target will be maybe 500, 400 sats. So that's Matic with Bitcoin. Matic with US dollars, it actually looks, you know, pretty similar. It looks a little bit better to me. We had the falling wedge here. We've actually broken out already, which is great. We have a bull pennant here, and we've broken out of that. But we are at the current resistance. So until we claim this area, we can expect potential downside here. Once we claim this area as support, there's the potential for a long trade to go to the top of this range. And the last one, this one is Swipe SXP, and we're going to use the log scale because the falling wedge just doesn't look right on the other scale. Sometimes it's good to use log and linear scale just to compare different charts, because you might see a valid pattern on one that you don't see on the other. So I tend to use both. I use mainly log off. And when you get these kind of low value tokens that move really rapidly, sometimes it's better to use a log scale. But if you're measuring patterns, you should never use log because it changes the height of the candlesticks. So looking at SXP with Bitcoin, it's pretty much the same thing. We've got the falling wedge, we've broken out, and now we're kind of just grinding off sideways a bit. Now, if we close underneath 5,200, SXP with Bitcoin, the chances are it's going to keep continuing down. If we can hold support in this area, and we can have like a large kind of a thrust from here, it's going to create a demand zone. And then we just have to watch to see if we keep pushing from this area until we get a breakout. And as you can see over here, this is a recent support area. We're going to expect the price to come up first to here, to break out, and then to come up to here. We're going to look for a flip, and then it's going to come to the really key demand area here before we have the major push. We're going to look for a flip here. I am pretty bullish on SXP because it's the Binance debit card. You know, it's definitely going to be like the top product in the market, in my opinion anyway. So I feel like that's going to get a lot of users. It's going to get a lot of people behind it. It's already released in the US market. I did call SXP earlier. We got like one swing out of it. And the other entry was we got taken out because we had a falling wedge here and the pattern broke out and it just failed. So these patterns, they don't guarantee they're going to go the direction you want every time, but they do give us a general idea and some areas to plan for to get our potential entries. So looking at XXP again, if we hold this area, we confirm support, we're going to look for a push, and we're just going to keep an eye on these other key areas. We've got 8,700 and 1,000 sats or 10,000 sats or so. 10,000 sats, if we claim that, I'm definitely going to be looking for a long to push up to here, as well as if we get a kind of nice setup down here. Looking at SXP with US dollars, it's almost identical. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches on the falling wedge. We've actually broken out now, and I can see we're starting to consolidate sideways. So you can see here, it's kind of just moving sideways in this like rectangular shape. So eventually we're going to get a major move out of this, whether it be downwards or upwards. Now, right now on SXP US dollars, we can see we started the run from here before we went up. We also bounced here and we kind of rejected here and we dumped off from here. So right now, while we're under here, it's actually not a very good sign. Once we can hold support here, get back above, just like pretty much on the last chart I showed you, and bounce off here, it's going to be a good sign that SXP with US dollars is going to keep continuing up. And my general target for this token in the long term is around $6 to $10. Yeah, long term is like 6 months to a year or more. So that's it for me, basically, guys. I'm just going to have another quick look at Bitcoin. Going to see if we can see anything else here happening. So it's still above the neckline of this inverse extended V pattern. For those of you who have tuned into the video late, I'm just going to show you again. So this isn't really something I'm looking to trade right now, but I'm just keeping an eye on Bitcoin just to see what happens and where the market can take us, and if we get a better looking entry. So the inverse extended V is it's the mirror of this pattern, the extended V bottom, and it shows a potential top. As you can see, we had this kind of consolidation and then we had a sharp top. And now we've broken out downwards. And the fact that we come back in this area is giving us the potential to continue up. But that's not going to happen. That's not validated until we confirm of this area here at least. So in the short term on Bitcoin, that's pretty much everything I'm looking out for. If you missed the start of the video, this is all recorded. I'm going to be uploading it now to YouTube so you guys can check it out. Also, I will be hosting another video at the end of the month, the Binance Masterclass. So if you're free on the 27th of this month, I'm going to be showing you guys how I pick my trades. I'm going to be showing you the whole setup, how I find the supply and demand zones, how I use the chart patterns, and how I use price action trading. So 27th of November, I hope to see you guys then. I hope you guys enjoyed the update for tonight. I'm going to unmute you now if there's any questions from anyone. Has anyone else got any other questions or requests? No problem, man. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to upload this now to YouTube and stay tuned. I'm going to be recording a few more videos for you guys tonight or tomorrow. It's going to be just for the members area of the Discord. So I'll see you guys then. Thanks.